Do you ever find yourself on the internet looking at digital art and thinking, oh my god, this is so cool, I really wish I knew how to do this, but I don't even know where to start? Well, I am here to answer your questions today. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna and I am here to help you start your digital art journey. I've been getting a lot of messages lately from people asking me, Joanna, I really want to start painting digitally, but I don't even know where to start. What program should I use? What tablet should I buy? Am I gonna have to spend a lot of money just to start? Well, I thought I would make a video explaining all of those things, going over the several painting softwares that I know of and drawing tablets, and giving you some information about them as well as my own personal opinion. To start off, if you want to be able to draw digitally, you're going to need a tablet. There are an insane amount of tablets for sale at this moment. When I started out, the choices were very limited, to say the least. My first tablet was a Wacom Bamboo. I went on Amazon to try to find it to tell you guys the price, and I don't think they sell it anymore. Here is my Bamboo. I bought this when I was 14 years old, which is well over 10 years ago, and I used this for a really long time. So if you're starting out, you don't really need to invest in something that's very expensive. Something this simple could really help you out when you're just learning the basics. After my Bamboo, I upgraded to an Intuos Pro, a Wacom Intuos Pro. Here is my Wacom. This I used for a few years, and I was using it on PC with Photoshop, and the tablet connects via USB cable. You have all these buttons you can configure to use as shortcuts, for example, to choose a brush, to choose an eraser, to select. You can also configure your tablet to be used with your right or your left hand. This is a bit more expensive and it doesn't have a display, so you're going to have to learn your eye-hand coordination, because you'll be drawing on the tablet and looking at the screen. But that is something that you can get around in a short amount of time. And I know a lot of great artists that to this day haven't upgraded from an Intuos and do amazing work, so that's not going to stop you. Wacom was the initial brand for drawing tablets, and in my opinion, it's still one of the best. In terms of price, quality, it still holds up on its own. However, in the meantime, some other brands have entered the market. We have the XP Pen, which is a much cheaper alternative, and you have regular tablets as well as display tablets, those in which you draw straight in the tablet without having to look at your screen. There's also Huion, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but Huion, which is being greatly used nowadays by a lot of artists. It's also cheaper than Wacom. It's a bit more well known than XP Pen, and I've heard great reviews about it. I've never used any of these. I have pondered, before getting my iPad, I did ponder if I should get an XP Pen, but I ended up going with the iPad. Then you have the Wacom Cintiq. The Cintiq is sort of the holy grail of Wacom. It's quite expensive, but it is very, very much quality hardware. I do not own a Cintiq, but I have tried working on one and it's very. Then you have the iPad, which is actually what I use and what I've been using for the past year, 2 years maybe. And this is my iPad. And this is my most prized possession. I love it. I would never trade it for anything, and yeah, I can't live without it. I am a slave to iPad and Procreate. Then you've got tablets that have their own operating system. These tablets, you do not have to have a computer or a Mac to work with. You draw directly on them, they have their own RAM, they have their own memory, and it all stays within that tablet. For those tablets, we have examples like the Microsoft Surface. There are some Asus and as well as HP, and they are very good but quite pricey as well. Then you have the cheaper alternatives, but they're not as high quality and you might not get great results with them. You can always draw on your phone by buying a stylus, but I've never tried it, but I wouldn't recommend it. It will take you a really long time to get the same results that you would get with a tablet, and you will need a lot of patience. You can also buy a regular tablet, and there's some free software you can install, and using the stylus again, you can get some pretty good results. Another thing to keep in mind when buying a tablet is pressure sensitivity. Without pressure sensitivity, your tablet is not going to do much for you. Pressure sensitivity is what allows you to vary the opacity of your brush in one single stroke, as well as thickness of stroke. A tablet without pressure sensitivity is pretty much the same as using a mouse. When it comes to software, there are an endless amount of programs out there for you to use. Some are free, some are not so free and not so cheap. There is the basic one, which is the most used in the industry, and that's Photoshop. Everyone knows Photoshop. It was the one I used before I switched to iPad, and it is the one that I love the best because it does have a lot of features that you can use for your photo edit and your drawings. Photoshop, however, does come with a price. There is a monthly fee that you have to pay for it. Still from Adobe, you have Illustrator. Illustrator is another great program that a lot of people use. However, Illustrator is more tuned to vector design rather than painting. So if you're starting out with logos or icons, or anything vector based, Illustrator is probably your best alternative. Another program that I've heard about is Corel Draw. I did use Corel Draw a few years ago, about a decade ago. However, I did not use it for drawing at the time. I did use it for photo editing. So I cannot attest to the quality when it comes to drawing. However, at that time, it was one of the biggest softwares out there for the design painting industry. Nowadays, I don't know how much it holds up to the standards. However, it is extremely expensive. It is $300 and something a year. Then you have Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint is very well known, and a lot of people, a lot of very well known artists use it. I have never used it myself, so I cannot give you my own personal opinion about it. It is also paid. It goes somewhere between $50 to $215, if I'm not mistaken. The last program that I'm going to be mentioning that is paid is, of course, Procreate. However, I believe that Procreate is incredibly cheap, $10, and you pay it once and you have it for the rest of your life. Procreate is my favorite program to use. However, there are some drawbacks. Because it is on the iPad, there are some restrictions in memory, so you won't be allowed to have as many layers as you would have on Photoshop, for example. Because of memory restrictions, depending on the size of your canvas, you will have a limitation to layers, to the quantity of layers. It is great for painting. However, Photoshop does have more features that you can use. So sometimes I do paint in Procreate and then export the image into Photoshop so I can tune it to my liking. Now on to the free software. The first one I'm going to mention is GIMP. GIMP is a very old program. It has been around for a while. However, it is not the greatest option out there. And since it's free, you have many other choices that are also free, so why settle for a lesser program, in my opinion. Then we have Autodesk Sketchbook. Autodesk Sketchbook is also free. It does have a very pleasing layout to it. It's very minimalistic and very easy to navigate. It has some really cool organic brushes. It almost feels like you are painting on your own sketchbook or in a real life physical canvas. If you are having trouble going from traditional to digital, this might be a good option for you to start off with, or if you really just like that traditional feeling, this would be a good alternative for you. The next one I'm going to be talking about is Medibank. Medibank is another program that's been around for a while. However, it is more suited for comics, mangas. It is great for creating panels, for inking, so I wouldn't recommend it as much for painting. And finally, we come to my favorite free software, and that is Krita. Krita is the best free software that I have ever tried. Before I got Photoshop, I did work on Krita for a while. First I started on GIMP, I upgraded to Clip Studio Paint, and then I discovered Krita. And Krita is pretty much incredible. It is made for painting. It has that going for it that Photoshop doesn't have. The layout is very similar, and I think this is the best program out there in my personal opinion. There is also a Paint Tools side that I forgot to mention, and that is also a very good option. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that these tips will help you on your journey into digital art. I hope you have fun drawing, and if this helped you, please leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye!